This video is supposed to provide people with information that they are not aware of, that are out there but need to be shared. So if someone wants to benefit from new technologies, which are actually often not new, they have been there before, but to actually give someone the chance to decide for themselves whether they want to adopt what we are showing in the video.
At first, we used to plant one type of seed repeatedly using local methods of planting. But now we have adopted new ways taught to us by GIZ and stakeholders. With the coming of GIZ and FAO, we were taught on how we can select the best crops to suit the environment in our area.
With this coming in of the farmer field school, there are a number of technologies that have been given out to the farmers. There is a double row planting in soya beans.
We first construct ridges in our field. After that, we wait for rains to come. We now mix the seeds with inoculant and spread it under shade. We now take the seeds after they are dry. We then plant a single seed per planting station in 2 rows of a single ridge. We prefer planting a seed called tikolole, which is a good type of seed. Good agriculture practices have benefited a lot of us here. For example, I was able to pay for tuition fees for my college child, and I was also able to send another one to a boarding school using farm produce profits. All this has been possible because I followed good agriculture practices. And now we are also able to grow soya, groundnuts, and we also practice agroforestry.
GIZ is promoting good agricultural practices through the farmer field school approach. In Tuchira, we're trying to showcase to farmers the good agricultural practices. For example, in the case of soya, we are promoting double row planting. We're also promoting use of inoculant. So based on the previous years, we have seen that those study plots where we have followed good agricultural practices, the yield is significantly higher than those that you follow farmer practice.
At first, access to farm inputs was a challenge for farmers like us. It was really hard for everyone to access these inputs individually.
With the training we received, access to inputs is no longer a challenge.
We established a good relationship with Chikwendeni agro dealers who provide us with farm inputs like soya seeds on loan. Now we are able to educate our children through the profits gained from soya farming.
This initiative is helpful because we provide farmers with farm inputs like seeds during a season where most farmers struggle to find farm inputs. So when we have provided the inputs to the farmers, we also continue to give them guidance together with agricultural extension workers, starting from the time they have received the inputs up to when they have harvested their crops. After harvesting, it is when they repay their loans to us. This means they do acquire both expertise and farm inputs easily.
Our businesses have greatly improved since GIZ trained us. We have started practicing modern farming. Ever since we started practicing good agricultural practices, we have renovated our homes. We are secured in terms of food since we now harvest large volumes of maize. Our vision is to continue with the good relationship that already exists with our agro dealers, so we can continue to provide more than what we do now.
In the past, before GIZ came, we used to harvest just 2 bags per acre, but now harvest up to 15 bags of soya per acre.
GIZ came and taught us farming business skills. In our association, many have gained so much using the skills we learned. As for me, in the first year, I purchased a motorbike. And in the second year, I was able to renovate my house and many other things. I was able to do this through soya farming taught by GIZ.
Inoculant is a natural fertilizer which is used to crops such as beans, soya and groundnuts. Here is the procedure we follow when using inoculant. We take seeds, water, a basin and a sack bag when going to plant the seeds after the rains. We also make sure that the soil in the field is moist. We measure the water using an empty Fanta bottle and pour it in the basin. We then put a packet of inoculant into the water, followed by measuring 10 kg of seed, either soya or groundnuts. We mix the water with inoculant until a pasted substance is formed. We mix the seeds with the inoculant paste thoroughly, then spread the seeds under a shade to allow them to dry for some minutes. We wait for an appropriate time until the seeds are well dried. The seeds are now planted in ridges while the soil is still moist.
Inoculant is easily accessible here. The agricultural extension workers bring it to us. Farmers have benefited a lot because they actually prefer planting seeds that correspond to climate change so that they make more profits. And working together with other organizations such as GIZ has really helped farmers work in associations and have access to farm inputs like inoculant so that they produce more.
Aflatoxins are toxic chemicals that are produced by fungi belonging to the genus Aspergillus that are found in the soil. So the fungus is able to infect the groundnut when the groundnut is still out in the field growing. Groundnuts from Malawi sometimes cannot be marketed in certain countries because they are contaminated with aflatoxins. For example, Malawi finds it very difficult to export to Europe and other countries where aflatoxin contamination is highly regulated. The second is impacts that consumers usually get when they eat aflatoxin contamination. Their health is impacted.
There are several strategies of managing aflatoxin contamination in groundnuts. There are measures that are done in the field before harvesting. Then there are also measures that are done during harvesting. Then there are also measures that are done after harvesting. Here at Tuchira RTC, we are showcasing some measures of managing aflatoxin before harvesting. Here we are showcasing the use of Afrasafe. Afrasafe is a bioproduct that is used in mitigating aflatoxin contamination. So we have two study plots. There is one study plot here where Afrasafe was not applied. Then we have another study plot where Afrasafe is applied. So after harvesting, we get the samples from these two plots and analyze. This analysis is meant to create awareness about the aflatoxin contamination in groundnut. Going by the previous years, we have seen that the use of Afrasafe reduces contamination by over 90% in groundnuts.
chakwamba tikusanga mbewu yambula matenda. Chachiwiri chakuti mbewu ipatu chirukisa.
First, we select the seed with no diseases. Secondly, when we are multiplying the seed, we look for a place that has a reliable water source. Reason behind is to use water for irrigation. From there, we look for a good place with fertile soils because we want our seeds to grow well and rapidly. After multiplying it, we will go and plant in the field.
Mbewu ya magonoi imatha kupirira ku matenda. Komanso mbewu imeneyi tikamati mbewu yabwino ni imenenso imabereka kwambiri.
Quality seed is disease resistant. It produces more unlike other ordinary seeds. Types of improved cassava varieties are Chamandanda, Chinangwa 1 and 2, Mbundumale, and Sagonja.
We access quality seed through the government together with GIZ, and we farmers multiply it.
After we have multiplied the seed and have cultivated it, we sell some of it and we use the money to support our homes in terms of school fees and other home basic needs.
The other benefit of seed multiplication is that when we have accessed and multiplied the seed, our fellow farmers in our village also benefit from it because we share with them for free.
We thank GIZ for empowering us because at first we used to eat pastries once a year, but now we make and eat pastries from cassava flour.
It's a facility that has been developed for quite a number of years, and with the help from different development partners, including GIZ. So basically the facility is feeding into the seed system through screening of diseases, especially viral diseases. And what we do here is basically we're trying to identify planting materials that are clean. And so we do screening through PCR. We start with DNA extraction, after extraction, and then we go into PCR.
Agroforestry is benefiting us a lot because it enhances soil fertility. It is also a source of firewood. We practice intercropping in our fields. We plant maize and cowpeas per planting station. Some of the trees in the fields replenish soil fertility. Adding on to that, the falling leaves rot and turn into manure in the soil.
Njira ina imene timapanga mabox lijezi komanso timapangaso migula zimatipangitsa kuti tizikhala ndi ubwino.
We also construct box ridges and terraces in our fields. This is also another method we use to replenish soil fertility.
Kubwezereza chonde mnthaka.
Ulimi ophweza mbewu ni milenguno kwathu utithandiza kwambiri chifukwa yonena kuti tikadzala mbewu monga ngati chimanga mwapeza kuti
Agroforestry has many benefits because when we plant maize together with trees, the percentage of soil moisture is always high, and the falling leaves enhance soil nutrients for the crops. When the rains are gone, plants planted with trees still survive because of adequate moisture. Spreading of maize stalks also helps in soil fertility.
cholinga cha nkhalangoyi timafuna kuti tizidyamo zipatso zosiyanasiyana mwanga tithudza masuku timadya mu nkhalangoyi menemo.
Another aim of this forest is for us to be getting fruits from it. Taking care of forest helps the rain calendar since we now face climate change challenges. There are several types of modern trees such as blue gum in this forest. They are essential for domestic use, which helps us preserve natural trees. Not only that, but everyone has a small forest which they look after in their respective homes.
Ndiyamikire abunge la GIZ kudzera mu project yawo ya Green Innovation amene watithandiza kwambiri potipatsa mitengo imene tikuthandizira alimi athu ang'onoang'ono.
We appreciate GIZ under the Green Innovations program for providing us with trees that smallholder farmers are planting in their fields.
Ever since we started implementing FBS in 2017 here in Malawi, we have trained 40,594 smallholder farmers in the value chains which we are dealing with under Green Innovations. These farmers are cultivating cassava, soya, and groundnut. And on top of that, we have also managed to train 100 farmer business school trainers. And we have also observed that most of the farmers whom we have trained, they have now started keeping records, and most of them, they are able to calculate their profits, money in, money out. They are able to track their expenditures, and most of them, they are able to manage their finances throughout the year, and they are also able to manage their food also throughout the year.
At first, we used to practice ordinary agriculture. Upon harvesting our crops, we used to sell a little and consume the rest at home. I visualize a brighter future ahead of the farmers because many farmers practice agriculture as ordinary. But through the FBS trainers training I have received, I'll be able to go and teach the farmers to start considering farming as a business.
I learned so much in the farmer business school. One of the lessons is taking farming as a business. The coming of the farmer business school has helped us to be visionary farmers and to be able to save money for emergencies.
Adding on to that, after I calculated my farm enterprise profits, I used some of the money to buy a motorcycle. I extended my house, which was smaller. We also formed a farmers association. The association is guided by laws which are implemented. After noticing our dedication, some stakeholders donated to us a chamber, which we call it a seed multiplication house. As of now, we have planted 300 banana seedlings, of which we expect to collect over 4,000 seed upon multiplication. We have well-established farmer groups because of the Farmer Business School.
At the beginning, we found out that most of the SMEs didn't know what their business is all about. But with the SME Loop, they're able to understand their business, they're able to start keeping records, they're able to understand financial statements, and they're also able to understand what it means to make profits, and that has helped them to be able to maximize their profits.
With
GIZ, we learned how we can successfully operate our businesses. In the midst of the training, we were taught how to do business planning. We also learned about financial record keeping and how we can be able to source markets for our enterprise. I have learned many important aspects, more especially the business plan. It's the most important skill that has helped me gain knowledge because it always guides me and I am never lost. I am always in line with my goals. It also helps me to know how many people I need to employ when it's stocking time.
The objective of a MSME loop is to bring entrepreneurial competences amongst the MSMEs, and by that we believe that it can bring them higher turnovers, and in that regard they can be able even to employ more people, but also their well-being will be improved.
So I have learned many important aspects, more especially the business plan. It's the most essential technique that has helped me gain knowledge. Because I'm never lost with the business plan, I'm always in line with my goals. It also helps to know how many people I will need to employ during stocking of commodities.
At first, I did not have good marketing strategies for my business. But now, I try as much as possible not to lose customers, and my marketing skills have greatly improved because of this.
Most of the SMEs, after learning SME Loop, are able to segment the market, and by that, it also helps them to increase their profit by segmenting those markets, and also that also helps them to be able to improve their business.
Project imene naipanga add value soya amene panopo soya yo ndikupanga kufa kwa phala ndikupanga monso mkaka.
I choose to add value to soya, of which now I'm able to produce soya porridge flour, soya milk, soya cheese and yogurt. I learned all this during the GIZ training.
What we want to achieve in MSME Loop to the entrepreneurs is to help them understand how business is done, and also to help them to know how they can develop their business, but also be able to expand with the principles that are taught in SME Loop.
This video has been made for you, for the people of Malawi, to have a choice of technologies, of innovations that you can apply. It's you have to decide. If you want to take it on, you can transform Malawi, you can transform your land, you can transform economy. It's in your hands. Take it on.